By now, many African Americans and the descendants of slaves scattered across the world have realized that to truly understand why all this hardship is taking place is to look to the Bible for answers. For many of us, the Most High has turned on the light bulb, revealing our answers through Deuteronomy 28 and the curses of Israel. As much as we may not want to believe it, we cannot run away from our true identity and the covenant our ancestral forefathers broke with the Most High. Such as the question as, what is the biblical identity of the so-called Negro in America? And why do we have to lose our culture and heritage after leaving Africa? No matter what country we live in, why is it so hard for the so-called Negro to be prosperous as a people? And why are we struggling economically? And why are we the last ones hired on the job, the only ones discriminated against on the job, and the first people fired? And why are we struggling academically? And why are we afflicted with so many diseases and mental behavioral disorders? And why is there so much conflict in our homes? And why is there an agenda to imprison all of us? And why do we kill each other? And why is there so much stress at home seen in black relationships and so many single black mothers? And why has the Negro been a slave in just about every country on earth? And why have we been casted to servitude status in the nations we were brought to in slavery? And why are we the object of ridicule all over the world? And why are the nations living their best life, but our lives seem to be a lifelong struggle? And why have we been praying to the same Jesus as everyone else who is Christian in the world, but still as a people we experience so much hardship in our everyday lives? Decade after decade, we have been reminded by Hollywood of our ancestors' history of slavery, but what is the real truth about the slave trades? In school, we are never taught about the Catholic Church's papal bulls authorizing the enslavement of the Negro and the Indian. We were never taught about the Arab, East African, Islamic slave trade, or the Jewish slave ships that brought our West African Negro Bantu's ancestors to slave ports owned by the Jewish Newport World Center of Slave Commerce off the east coast of North America. And little do we know that the three Abrahamic religions that shaped the world were the very same religions that enslaved the so-called Negro. Perhaps this is the reason why the true Israelite identity of the so-called Negro has been covered up for so long. The mass media is the biggest tool of indoctrination, brainwashing, and propaganda that the world has seen. For centuries, it has been helping Satan deceive the world, including the Christian church. Don't believe me? The following quote was made by an Ashkenazi Jew, Harold Wallace Rosenthal, back in 1976. The truth will shock you. At first, by controlling the banking system, we were able to control corporation capital. Through this, we acquired total monopoly of the movie industry, the radio networks, and the newly developing television media. The printing industry, newspapers, periodicals, and technical journals have already fallen into our hands. The richest plum was later to come when we took over the publication of all school materials. Through these vehicles, we could mold public opinion to suit our own purposes. There is no such thing as a silent majority because we control their cry and hue. The only thing that exists is an unthinking majority, and unthinking they will remain, as long as their escape from our rigorous service is the opiate of our entertainment industry. By controlling industry, we have become the taskmasters and the people the slaves. When the pressure of daily toil builds to an explosive degree, we have provided the safety valve of momentary pleasure. The television and movie industries furnish the necessary temporary distraction. These programs are carefully designed to appeal to the sensuous emotions, never to the logical thinking mind. Because of this, the people are programmed to respond according to our dictates, not according to reason. Silent they never are, thinking they will remain. We are amazed at the Christian stupidity. Judaism is not only the teaching of the synagogue, but also the doctrine of every Christian church in America. Through our propaganda, the church has become our most avid supporter. This has given us a special place in society. They're believing the lie that we are the chosen people and they, the Gentiles. Said by Ashkenazi Jew Harold Wallace Rosenthal in The Hidden Tyranny in 1976, The Silent Majority. Over the centuries, Bible historians and Jewish rabbis have all tried to find the whereabouts of the 10 lost tribes of Israel. India with the Cochin Jews.